Hey everyone, so today I made a chocolate cake that requires only 2 ingredients, which is insane. I saw this on Tasty the other day and I was absolutely fascinated, so I decided to try it for you. I made a lot of mistakes, which you'll see later, but it turned out surprisingly amazing, and so if I can do it, so can you. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so for this recipe, the ingredients you will be needing are 4 eggs with the whites and the yolk separated. Now, I suck at cracking eggs, so I didn't separate them very nicely, but it worked out fine for me, so if you're better at it than I am, then good on you. And then you're going to need 255 grams of chocolate chips, which I used milk chocolate chips for that extra sweetness, and based off of the reviews, the dark chocolate apparently doesn't turn out very nicely, but go at your own risk with however much sweetness you would like. Start off by preheating your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, before melting my chocolate, I decided to do the egg whites first, just so that the chocolate doesn't harden. And so I took my egg whites and started beating them very fast with an electric mixer, just until it was fluffy and soft peaks started to form. Next, take your chocolate chips and put them in a microwave-safe bowl and microwave them for 1 minute until completely melted. So if you were able to successfully separate the yolk and the egg, you want to add the yolk one by one and whisk to combine the chocolate and the yolk. But for me, I had to just eyeball it. I don't know how important this is, but it turned out fine for me. So you just want to slowly add in your yolk and combine it all together. Alright, so on to mistake number 2. I feel like in every baking video I've made a mistake, but somehow they turn out. So anyways, the next part is to now use your egg whites. Now you're supposed to fold in your egg whites with your chocolate 1/3 at a time. Now baking is very specific, so I think this might have been super important. So I started stressing out when I realized that I put all of my egg whites in the big bowl, so I just said fuck it and I put all of it in and I decided to try and mix it together. But at this point the chocolate was hardening and I had to mix harder, which was losing its fluffiness, and I really felt like a failure that I couldn't even do a 2-ingredient chocolate cake. But I somehow tried to hold on to my dignity and I kept mixing it and hoped for the best, so I just folded in the egg whites. But I think it might have turned out fluffier if you did it 1/3 at a time, so definitely try to do that and don't follow my steps here. I'm sure if there are any baking experts watching right now, it felt like pulling out teeth to watch me mix the meringue that aggressively with the chocolate, so I'm sorry to hurt your eyes. But anyways, now it's time to put your batter into your cake pan. So I just used whatever cake pan was there. It didn't rise too much, but again, if it was still fluffy, it might have risen a lot more. So I just poured the batter in and I put it into the oven for 30 minutes, which actually only took me about 25. I feel like the extra 5 minutes probably would have burnt it. I recommend greasing the pan very well because it kind of stuck quite a bit. But it turned out really nicely. I gave it some time to cool and I decided to try and pry out this cake out of the pan. Now you might notice that the piece is missing in the cake, and it's because I had to rip it out so that the rest of the cake could come out nicely with my spatula, so don't mind that. But for the toppings, I decided to just use some icing sugar, and I also cut up some strawberries, tried to make it look nice and presentable for you guys. But yeah, the taste test was very nice. It was actually really soft, and I thought it would be more like a brownie texture just because it doesn't like have flour and stuff. I don't know. I don't really know baking science, but anyways, I thought it'd be like squishy, but it actually wasn't. It was really fluffy, really tasted like a cake, and it's honestly a really great like gluten-free option. So I definitely recommend it for any kind of parties you have or anything like that. It's peanut-free, no gluten, and I don't know, it just turned out really nicely, and it's a great way to make a cake when you don't have all the ingredients. So I know this was a roller coaster of a video to watch because I messed up so many things, but somehow it turned out nicely. So I hope you guys enjoyed me, an amateur, trying to make a professional looking tasty video. Thankfully, it turned out successful, but I hope you guys enjoyed me trying to endure this adventure, and I'm making it sound so dramatic, but anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.